Are we here? Are we
Hello.
live? Hello.
We made it.
We did. My Facebook isn't even telling me that we're live. Rude.
Well, it's a full moon.
Good old
It's an
Facebook.
interesting full moon. There's
Here we
bound
are.
to be strange things that are going to happen.
Oh, I feel like I'm just kind of coasting.
Hello. I see
No?
somebody just got here. Welcome. We're going to do our usual and just kind of drop in for a few minutes and give everybody a chance to filter into the room. Oh, we got quite a few people coming in. Welcome, everybody. Happy full moon. We're building up to that full moon right now. It's a full moon in Leo. It will actually be full tomorrow during the day. That's why we're doing this tonight. It's going to be full at about 1:28 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, and 10:28 in the morning for those on the West Coast in the United States. And this is a new cycle we're kicking off with On The Hedge that me and Lizzie are really excited about. And it's something that we wanted to do to help build community, help people gather together for intentional visioning and also to discuss things that often, people don't talk about and work with the energies in play with each lunar cycle to the best of our advantage and move forward in our lives in empowering ways. So we'll be kicking off something fun tonight that we'll be talking about soon here. But how you doing tonight, Lizzie?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm getting all shared out. I was literally just thinking, oh my God, I need a haircut. I was like, oh,
it's a good time for it.
It is. It is.
Yeah, it's a good time to get a haircut. Those of you who want to get a haircut, if you're looking for it to turn out well, and if you're looking for fast growth, now is a really good time to do that with the astrology we got going on with Leo front and center. They're kind of known for their manes, right?
Yep. Yep. No. Getting too long. It's getting too long, which is hilarious. Because if you knew me or followed me at all in any capacity, you'd know that up until very recently, my hair was down to my ass. So for me to be like, it's getting too long, I'm like, okay, sure.
Mine's just past my ass now, and I'm like, I'm still growing it. I don't know. There's something I got like a Samson and Delilah complex right now. I don't want to cut it. There's something about that. I noticed more as I started to really connect with my Comanche ancestors and do work with them. That really came through for me. Like when I braid my hair, I braid my prayers into my hair, and um, when I think in terms of my hair, it's like I just want to let it keep growing. I don't know how long it's going to end up getting, but there's something that makes me feel like I'm losing something if I cut it. So I haven't had a haircut in it's been about 3.5 years.
I've been there. Yeah, no, I've been there. Yep.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
No.
So tonight we're gonna do something different, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna start our visioning, and I guess we should just kind of introduce what this is about. So we're gonna be meeting on each new moon and full moon from this point forward to drop in and do a little AstroTalk, do a little conversation with the cards, get a little collective read in, and have something that we present. And prior to this, we've kind of met, we brought in different rituals and stuff, but then Lizzie had the idea for doing a vision board.
Yeah.
I think is perfect with it being Leo, right? It's like really about what do you want to see kind of take center stage in your life? What do you want to see manifest in your life that's kind of that moment in that spotlight, that thing that you have to step up into, maybe have a little courage, a little mojo to step up into. And then I thought, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool if we did mini vision boards? and had them like the size of an index card. And every time we meet, we can make a new one that's based on the astrology and what comes through in the reading. And we can kind of have like sort of like a little like witch and stitch, sort of circle where we sit and we talk, and you all can cut images from magazines, and I'll share what I want to bring in with my particular card. And then I just recently got the inspiration. If you all are interested and you want to share the cards you created, you can send a picture to broadcoven@gmail.com, and I'll put a video together in between the next meeting of On the Hedge to kind of show to the whole community what you all are creating, which I think could be a lot of fun. So
heck yeah.
Just putting that out there. But we're going to dive into that. And when we do, we'll talk a little bit about what does a vision board look like? What are we talking about? What's the intention, as well as what's the theme of this particular lunar cycle? But anything you want to add to that, Miss Lizzie?
No, because I have the attention span of a goldfish right now with this full moon. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I think if I mean I can follow a train of thought, but probably not very far and probably not very deep today, and that's okay because that's just pretty standard for this for some people. I have fire in my chart, but not much Leo, so it would make sense that I'm a little like, okay, and it's just, it's for me because of the deity that I follow. I'm always in this weird in between time because like spring is coming, yay! My mom's coming back to the earth and she's bringing all this great life with her, but like she's coming back and she's going to be gone for a really long time. And, it's very bittersweet because that just means that my dad's just going to be chilling, not by himself, but yes, by himself because he's a sad goth boy in the basement. And,
he's a goat boy.
Yeah, he can't really function very well without his wife. He gets a little grumpy. And so it's very bittersweet. I do still follow the Wiccan calendar, so it won't happen a few days ago, and this is a time for new beginnings. It is a time for initiations. It is a time to start with a blank slate to create what we want. So, and I'm very intentional with my vision card today because it's going to be the declaration of intention, and not necessarily a part of it until next time. Like I have a master plan. So, I want to draw and handwrite out my intentions with this card and then start the creative process next time around. So here we are.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that that's a good jump off point, right? I mean, because with everything going on, doing a reading, talking about the astrology, there's only so much hands-on we can do, but I think that it'll be kind of cool to just sort of share the general intention and vision, for us to kind of get started on that and exploring all that. I think it would be good to just give kind of like an opening view of the astrology, because that'll really inform how we create these vision boards, which will become our oracle cards. And I just want to show what I'm using. A particular, I already had a card. I received this card. It came with a gift. I love the art on it, and the art that is on it is very much in alignment with the current astrology. I'm having a deja vu moment because I feel like I've brought this in before on the hedge at some point. I don't know if that's for real or if I'm just having one of those moments. But I really had this idea that I wanted to make like a double-sided cards for my vision board, with one side representing kind of the shadow aspect and one side representing the light. So I could also be mindful of things that can be tripping points that I should be aware of. And this is the card that I'm going to be doing my vision board on the back of.
Nice.
And this
Nice.
artist is Caitlin McCarthy. She has an Etsy site at Caitlin McCarthy Art. Okay. So she's got some really cool stuff. But this to me really reminds me of Inanna, Queen of the Heavens. And I'm also seeing this piece here about the olive branch, which is all about, first of all, forgiveness, but additionally, it's very much associated with victory. And that kind of Six of Wands energy, that's what the victory wreath is made of, is leaves from the olive branch, right? And she's got her vision lit, okay? And vision is something very front and center. She's got the stars on the rise, and it's taking that medicine from the painful experiences she's been through, transmuting that energy, much like you were just talking about with Persephone rising up as core in the spring, transforming those wounds into the source that fuels her visions coming forward in the world. So it's very much empowerment, right? Yeah. Very much creating out of the ashes that phoenix rising energy, which is something we're all collectively moving into now. And it's fitting because this particular moon is square Uranus, right? And it also forms another difficult aspect. There is a T-square going on too. So with this action going on, things are going to be challenging. And so it makes complete sense to me that you were kind of saying, your energy sort of feels like a little all over the place. That's something that's really going to be common with this particular lunar cycle that leads all the way up to February 20th, when we'll have a new moon in Pisces. Okay, so then we'll be doing a deep dive and moving into more of the emotional realm. This energy has some things that really work to the advantage, and it has some things that are challenging about it, and it's kind of an even blend. The area where we're going to feel the most challenges is in terms of intimate relationships, romantic relationships, in particular, when we want them to go the next level, when we want them to level up, when we want commitment, when we want somebody to really invest in us, or we want somebody to build with us, because the inclination at this time is going to be to desire high level independence. And there will be rebellious streaks front and center. All right. And we have to think, is this T-square is really going to be like a magnifying energy. So we have to look at this full moon as in Leo. Leo is already a pretty big energy. You combine that with a T-square, it becomes even bigger. So that lets you know that sometimes people can very much be operating out of self-interest. They're not going to be so inclined to compromise necessarily, which can make communications difficult, because there can be an air of egotistical presentation, or my way or the highway. We've had square Uranus action going on for a long time. We dealt with a lot of this last year. It brings unexpected occurrences. It brings things coming at us out of left field, and that can be really challenging. It's especially felt in the area of relationships, though, and there are some fixed stars in play. The stars in play are in the constellations of Draco the Dragon and the head of Leo. And so this combines the energies of Saturn and Mars together. Okay, so I want you to think about that. That's Saturn and Mars, and it's like Saturn wants to really restrict, wants to define, wants the pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of mentality, like do the work, right? And Mars can be very combative. Mars is also about energy. It's about initiation. It is very independent energy, fiery energy. All right. So when you got Saturn and Mars, people can feel very pressurized, very frustrated by the ways that they feel held back, or the ways that they feel like they're being put within borders, or that they somehow have to conform to somebody else's ideas. And so there's like a lot of bucking with authority, is something that's really going to come forward. It also produces kind of a like not the best influence in terms of relationships, because yes, people can be very bold, but they can also be very cruel.
Mm.
They can be heartless. Infidelity, cheating, Seven of Swords type of energy is something that's at the mainframe. It's also something that will be exposed at this time with what's going on in the astrology. So it's one of those vibes that what's done in the dark will surface. We're going to hear a lot about different things that have been going on behind the scenes, you know, that maybe we had inklings of, but we didn't have proof of. Well, the proof is going to come to the forefront and will be evident. Lies are being exposed. And you know, there's a lot of kind of touchiness when it comes to our connections, and who we can really count on, who we can really trust, because the energy is very much one of self consideration. It's more of a self-oriented energy, and it's getting thrown into the mix with Uranus, which is all that like wild card, you know, anything can happen, surprises. I mean, there can be good surprises too. That's the thing, is there's opportunity for some good surprises, some unexpected opportunities. And if you're bold, if you're daring, you know, you can take advantage of them. But they're also challenging, because the tendency can be to encounter such rigidity that there's not a willingness to like change the mind or be open to other perspective or other positions. And this can also be with ourselves, where we get stuck in a rut, we get stuck in old habits, we find it hard to change these unhealthy habits, or we find ourselves continually making the same mistake over and over and over, over and over again to learn the lesson we should have learned the first time before. And there can also just be a lot of frustration at this time of feeling like, I've invested so much, I've done so much. How much more do you want out of me? I need things to move forward like now. And this real kind of feeling of being held back, and kind of the pressurized quality that creates. So that all sounds pretty like difficult and not a whole lot of fun, right? And if I had to think of the kind of energy that most accurately captures the sort of signature of this lunar cycle, it would be Lilith. It would be Lilith. It would be that that ability to be bold, to be daring, to know your truth, to stand on it, to not compromise yourself, and to do what needs to be done, no matter how public opinion may sway in regard to that, as long as you're in your power and in alignment with your integrity. And so we know that Lilith had kind of a hard road to hoe, right? Lilith is the same energy as Ishtar. You know, it's about drawing those boundary lines about what you will not compromise at the end of the day, and taking a stand for it. And this may be in relation to having some things exposed in your environment, in your relationships, in your friendships, that you just can't abide by. And so maybe that means you got to walk your own way for a while, which was kind of interesting, Lizzie, because I know when we were talking about this, we were trying to figure out like, what should we call it? And I brought up how the energy in play is really reminding me of the hero's journey, which is very much kind of like with that fool's journey in the tarot. And you thought of Aerosmith's Walk This Way as a potential, like, you know, title for tonight. And it's funny because it is kind of about that. You know, it's like walking your own way and doing your thing and being a revolutionary, you know, breaking the mold, stepping outside the box, not putting up with things that hold you back or pigeonhole you or keep you acting out a role that you outgrew and you're not content to stay there anymore. So it's a very interesting energy in play, but there is some benefits available too. And the keys to success this lunar cycle are all about self-awareness, being open-minded, being flexible. But the biggest benefit is in working your ass off. There's going to be a lot of energy on offer. Energy is going to be increasing. This is how the Mars energy serves us in that, configuration we got going on with the stars. If you got a goal, map it out and then work hard to bring it into being. And the way this is best achieved this lunar cycle is by making sure you're also scheduling breaks where you can recharge. So it's like set aside a chunk of time, like I'm going to work my ass off. And during this chunk of time, I'm going to hit this goal, this goal, this goal, and then I'm going to rest. Completely rest, let go, and recharge for this many days or these many hours. You can map it out however it works for you. But we do have this energy really working for us. And then there's also one of the fixed stars. The way the fixed stars are combining with that Uranus being at the apex of the T-square. It's also a time when, like I said, there's going to be a lot of rebellion. It's the time when we're going to see people rise up, like level up in their lives because of their rebellion. So because they said, screw this job, it's not getting me where I want to go. I'm leaving that. I'm going to go my own way. And then all of a sudden they rise up, Two people who moved unethically will fall. It's kind of like leaders changing places, tables turning kind of energy. What was, too high, too big for its britches will take a hard fall during this cycle. What's been humble and kind of towing the line and just waiting for the moment for things to turn, we'll find that things are going to be on the rise. So there is still this piece, though, that the work needs to be done. There's no way getting around that. And then the areas where we're going to see the most success for those of you who are investing in different projects, in different business endeavors, different focuses of study in your life. It's all around science and technology because we are in Aquarius season, networking, what you're doing online, what makes you visible to the broader public. It also has to do with space and study of the stars. So astronomy, occult, metaphysics are very front and center. So any of you who have been inspired to head into that study or are inspired to maybe head into business in those areas will find a lot of opportunity, a lot of success, a lot of expansion coming in. There's a lot opening up around travel, and it's all about innovation, how to do things differently, even different energy sources, and using different mediums such as technology in new ways that actually create a leveling up, an expansion of consciousness, as opposed to just being something that just passes the time. So that's kind of the astrology that's in a play in the nutshell. It's about us breaking with tradition, doing things in a new way, being bold, being daring, but also having enough self-awareness and patience, mindfulness, that we can reflect on ourselves and our own actions, the choices we're making, and how we're responding or reacting to what's happening around us. And by bringing those areas of balance, there can be a lot of unexpected success and really great opportunities that come forward. But these opportunities, these doors of opportunity that lead to success, in order to step through them, they're going to require a lot of focus and work, and also making sure you're getting enough rest to take full advantage of.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I mean, I think it's good.
Good. Yeah. No, that's
not a bad thing. I mean, I've been aware of the need to kind of be mindful of what's going on, in social circles and all that for a while. That energy has been front and center. I'm not surprised that there's stuff that will be coming to the surface. And I think most people are aware of that, not only within the microclimate of their own personal connections, but it can't be helped. We're in South Node Scorpio, so we're slugging through a lot of shadow stuff. And it's all leading up to that change in the nodes in July when we go into Libra, which is all about relationships. So this doesn't surprise me that there's going to be stuff exposed that might be hard to swallow. Ooh, blocking energy. No, don't self-reflect. Don't set yourself free.
Yeah, right. Right. I was like, what happened? Because you were there and then you weren't. So. Oh my goodness.
But we'll see it happen on a global level too. There's going to be stuff coming out, about world leaders and world affairs, things that have been hidden. It's a time of exposure. We got to think of Leo's card, right? In the tarot is the sun. And yes, the sun is happiness, it's joy, but it's also exposure. There's a lot of exposure energy with Leo being in with a full moon. It just kind of amplifies that exposure energy. So think about that. I mean, exposure can be a positive thing and it can be a negative thing too, right? If you're working really hard, if you're focused, if you're in a place where you're minding your shit, and you're being conscientious about your moves, and you got a focus, you got a direction, you got, somewhere you're heading, where you're going, this can be very advantageous for you. In particular, if you're doing anything that involves technology or metaphysics or, online. But on the verse side of that, exposure can be not so good if there's stuff behind the scenes, if operating out of that Page of Swords, Seven of Swords, kind of shady energy, then it's going to be a different kind of exposure that can offer an opportunity for self-reflection. So it all serves a greater purpose in the end, no matter what. It's Saturn requiring that we do the work and we tame our impulsivity, and that we're rebellious in mindful ways instead of just going off the rails and taking actions that end up really holding us back and sabotaging us in the end. And of course, Seven of Swords, we got to look at that too, right? The ways we sabotage ourselves.
Oh yeah, no, because it happens, whether we want it to or not. And it's something that I know that it's talked about, but it's always talked about as in like, oh well, you didn't have the right attitude, so you didn't manifest it, and it's like no. No, it's not because you didn't want it enough. Like, it's not because you didn't do it, and that's something we've talked about before within like the whole toxic positivity and toxic manifestation that really has started popping up around, the new age and, online, all this online witchy stuff is, it's like, okay, no, there's also free will, and there's also, if you believe in a divine source, or if you have multiple gods like myself, or one, or whatever, you also have to realize that maybe your spiritual team is blocking that for a reason. And it's not because you're not a great manifester or you had a shitty attitude. Like, sometimes things are just shitty and it's okay. It doesn't mean you're ruining it. So, and that goes into the whole, like, not everything is for everyone. And You know, we don't always, we don't necessarily hear that, you know, because we like to think that everything is for us. But no, 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 and it's okay. We wouldn't want everything to be for us anyways.
Right.
Because then how would we figure, I don't know. Like, how would we figure that out? I don't.
I mean, sometimes rejection is protection, and sometimes rejection offers an opportunity for reflection that allows you to see something that you never saw before. You know, it's
Mhm.
all about what you do with it. And I think what tends to derail people more than anything, it's not so much are they positive about things, are they negative about things, although if you tend to have a more pessimistic view, there's automatically like more resistance to push through. I mean, still can be done,
Mhm.
but there's more resistance to push through, and it can make you not feel your best while you're doing it, which is hard. But I think
Mhm.
more than anything, it's people kind of like what that lunar energy is bringing up. People get
Mhm.
so soft into like their expectations of
Mhm.
how something's supposed to turn out or how it's supposed to look, um, that when it doesn't turn out like that, it's the resistance is what blocks them up from, experiencing their new beginning. If we can use those experiences as an opportunity for self-reflection, what we often learn is like, yeah, but really on a deep level, I knew this was kind of like out of alignment with me. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't
Mhm.
really in alignment with me. And then you find out the reasons why you really did want it to turn out a certain way. It can be a juicy, right? It can be a
Sure
juicy
can.
opportunity for self-reflection because it helps you understand your own machinations, that your expectations can become the way that your expectations can bind you up. Whereas if you can just kind of be more open, kind of what this energy is calling for, be open, be flexible.
When
Um, Things
I
can turn out to be the best thing in the world for you.
they can, and you know, I want to preface it that it wasn't just Aerosmith walked this way; it was the Aerosmith Run DMC. And the reason for that is what kept coming to mind was the very beginning of that video to where Aerosmith is playing and Run DMC next door is like, oh my fucking God, please stop. And so they, of course, start. Um, I don't know why, but the it it's DJing. Sorry, DJing. See, goldfish. So they start doing what they're doing, and then it turns into this tit to tat, back and forth. But at the end of it, it was like, oh wait, we can merge this and make this really kick ass sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as a kid when that video came out and when that song came out, it was, I don't want to say controversial, but it kind of was at the
It
time.
was a
Like,
bit. It
you
was, and it
know,
was very
like,
innovative.
yes, yes. And just that energy, that explosive energy around it of taking something, you know, we all know that rock has its roots within Black culture, but was appropriated by, and of course run with by most rockers in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So to bring it back to its roots, but blend it with at the time, the new sound that was on the rise, because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, rap was still very much in its infancy at that point. And so it was just revolutionary, you know.
Absolutely.
And it it pissed off quite a few people, you know, that didn't think that the two should intermingle so well. But they did, you know, and the video is just iconic. Anybody that grew up in
Mm-hmm.
the 80s, you know, just remembers that, you know, music videos used to be these really iconic pieces of art that we created as a society, that we don't really create much these days. So, and if they do, they're definitely not as they were when they in their again in its infancy. So, because again, music videos were in its infancy as well, and it was it was quite it was quite a thing. But now you'll be walking in the grocery store and you could hear that song. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
getting played in classic rock stations.
Well, and nowadays everything's like a remix. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
everything
Mm-hmm.
is a repeat of what's already been done. I mean, there
Yeah.
there are some innovative musicians out there, but for the most part, by and large, it's become very manufactured. So, I mean, that's a perfect example of that Uranus energy, in the
Mm-hmm.
mix and using it in
Mm-hmm.
a really good way, where you shake things up, you shake up the culture, you shake up the algorithm, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You break the algorithm, you break the mold, you do things your own way. It's really about embracing the spirit of the fool, and that wild, adventurous side.
Yep.
Um, I would love to do a conversation with the cards, like do a reading for the collective. And I think what would be kind of cool is maybe if we can just like provide a little guidance for the vision board process. So
Yeah.
you all have heard the lunar energies and what's in play this cycle. So you'll kind of use that as a basis, and how that applies for you to express it in collage form on an index card, something that's a card size that, what we hope to do, no matter what size, it will be a good idea to keep the size kind of uniform. So what you start
Mm-hmm.
with, you probably want to stick with it, because the
Yep.
goal is, as we travel together each of these times, we'll make a new one. And then by the end of 13 moons traveling together, you'll have, you'll have a deck of oracle cards that you created yourself.
Yes.
And that will actually imbue it with a lot more power, because there's symbols that speak directly to you. It's real simple to do a vision board. I'll show what I actually earmarked a couple things that I want to bring into
Mm.
mine. So I'll share just so people can kind of get an idea. And, you share too, Miss Lizzie, what your inspiration is. And then that'll give kind of a place for people to sort of bounce off of and, explore what their consciousness wants to bring forward. I love art and creativity. I love it being a medium to bring people together. So it's really kind of
Mm-hmm.
cool. You brought
Mm-hmm.
that in with the Run DMC Aerosmith collab and the whole energy of that, because that was a really big, like, this is a big pop culture moment,
It
actually. And
was.
it
It was.
shifted a lot of things too. It also
It
shifted a
did.
lot of things in the music industry, because then you had a lot more artists like collaborating with each other that weren't
Mm-hmm.
collaborating with each
Mm-hmm.
other before. So it was quite revolutionary, Love that. Um, I found this book specifically for doing like collages. It came out of one of
That's
those little libraries.
hilarious.
It's the McCall's Book of Handcrafts, and it's like a 1970s like edition. It's great.
That's
Um,
hilarious.
and so I started thumbing through, and I found a couple images that I plan on using on the opposite side of my card. This is going to represent the light side for me, because I see
Mm-hmm.
this as the
Mm-hmm.
exalted energy. So what I'm going to be working on the opposite side, which I kind of like, is the shadow energy. So it'll give me an idea of what I need to be mindful of this cycle. And the first thing I'm going to put on is one of these mirrors. So these are little,
Ooh.
because I want to remember to stay in a place of self reflection and be mindful that the
Yeah.
experiences I have in my relationships and such this month, whatever goes down, whatever truths are revealed, that I'm going to use them as a source of self reflection before I speak to them. I also want to bring the mirror in, because there is this Seven of Swords energy, man. So I want
Mm-hmm.
to have that as a focus too.
Yes.
to just like preserve my space, like put that boundary line around my space where I get to decide what kind of relationships I have room for in my life. I get to decide what quality of energy I want in my environment. And so it's up to me to toe that line and make those decisions and to
Yes.
deflect that negative energy. And then
Yes.
the other thing I found was, and I'm just going to show two of the images because I want you to bring in your ideas. They're these little stone owls.
Oh.
And the owl to me represents Lilith. It is one of her familiars, one of her allies. And it also represents that both wild with the talons, the both wild and wise part of her. It also represents her ability to see even when within the dark. Owls are also representations of magic and mystery, and this is an occult cycle, so that's a focus too, and also to use my magic mindfully. And then owls also, you know, have the ability to rise. And so it's going to be like a focal point for me, seeing the wisdom through the dark that allows me to rise and transcend out of like what held me down. So that's going to be two of the focal points. A lot of my imagery, though, is going to be around Lilith. So themes of what it means to be outcast, themes of what it means to be exiled, themes of what it means to rebel, to walk alone, to be sexual, to be sensual, and empowered in that, and to know it's okay to express that as you choose, because it's yours to use as you see fit. So, yeah, bringing in a lot of that dark feminine energy.
Yeah, that's great.
Hello, Sherry. Thank you for saying hello.
Hi, Mom.
What about you, Miss Lizzie? What's your inspiration?
So for right now, I'm gonna be doing abstract. And I'm gonna wait. No, these aren't my colors. Wrong thing. Hold please. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I wanted. Yeah. Yes. Man. Anything else in here? No, man. No. Just my colors. Just my colors. So I'm going to be doing some kind of abstract with
Nice.
I've got crayons and colored pencils and markers, and so the first one, which will be a bit handwritten, a bit of my handwritten and my intentions, but I kind of want it to flow at first because I'm still piecing together what kind of, not necessarily what my intentions, but I want to be very particular in what I'm calling in. My 40th birthday is in 2 months. And so I want to be very intentional, and I also need to sit and think about where I see myself a year from now and how I want to get there. So for right now, it's just going to be some pretty colors and some abstract art and some words. And next time around, I will probably have more to work with and more to play with. Ooh, I said that right at 44. So there we go.
Absolutely. And it's like with all things, there's no wrong way to do it. You all can work with any medium you want. You can work with stickers. You can do a collage. You can draw. You can paint. You know, You can take wads of gum and sculpt them and push them onto the car and let them dry and do whatever. Like there's no rules. You can do whatever you want.
No.
Okay, so this is an opportunity while we're like diving into read. If you want, you can like kind of just like craft while we're talking. You can receive and you can kind of be in that energy. But by all means, you can also do this if you're catching the replay. You can do this at your own pace, your own rate. And it's just kind of a cool way to really anchor the energy of what we're working with in the lunar cycles. And what I like about it is these can also become portable altars, you know?
Yeah.
So you can slip this in your purse, or you can have it in your car, or you can take it to your work and like put it on your desk, and it can be something that's a focal point to keep you attuned to the energy you're calling in. So I think it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So what do you think? Should we do Celtic Cross read, or what do you think, Lizzie, for the collective read for this lunar cycle?
Sure, we could. Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and do a Celtic Cross because it just gives kind of a good well-rounded view of what we're dealing with. I already got my cards really shuffled up here, so I'll go ahead and let me go ahead and just get the first opening on the board for, let's see, I want to put the timestamp for this, 46:44.
Okay.
That way we can have an opportunity for people who watch the replay that just want to drop in for the read, they can do that. I will have those up after the live for you all pinned in the comments. Okay, so let's see. This is for the collective. This is for all signs. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Ophiuchus, which I just added to Broad Coven this year. Sagittarius. Yeah, we're going with 13 signs here. Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Where's collective at right now at the start of this lunar cycle? What is our area of focus? What's the crux of the matter? What is the main thing we need to focus on and look at? Okay, I got a couple cards out here. I'll go ahead and open up. They all. I love it because it's so in harmony with the astrology. It's hilarious. They're all in reverse. We got the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. We got the Six of Cups in reverse. All right. And we got the Ten of Swords in reverse. All right. I got such a clear message coming through for this. This is like what we were talking about. This is about we're bucking tradition. We're not willing to let, leaders tell us who we need to be, how we need to move, or how we're going to be moving forward in the world. We're really looking at where do we need to dismantle the ideologies? Where do we need to dismantle those authority forces in our lives that are keeping us in a place of division, that are keeping us in a place of being held down, okay? We're not down for the count. We may have been down for the count. I think a lot of people felt like that. I think a lot of people felt down for the count over the past few years with everything that's been going on in the world. I think people are getting their second wind. It's sort of got like comeback kid kind of energy, like, come at me. I still got fight left in me, man. And so I feel like we're turning this energy around. We're like, no, I'm not just going to take it. I'm not going to take it laying down anymore, right? I'm not going to be used as a pincushion. I'm not going to fucking take things laying down anymore. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do what I need to do to move forward as the authority in my life, all right? There's a lot of people looking to break with tradition too. There's a lot of upheaval happening in relationships with the Six of Cups in reverse. There's this, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing it the way we've done it. I don't care how it's always been. It's not like that now. So I see a lot of people are sort of breaking out of the roles that were passed on them within their family units, the roles that have been defined for them by their past. They're like, that was then, this is now. And I want to move forward in a new way, and I want to do it on my terms. So I feel like this is what's really coming forward. This lunar cycle is kind of the crux of the matter, is that desire for autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
Desire for autonomy. What you got?
So I got Page of Swords and Ace of Wands. And I love this deck, but what I can't stand is that the wands are fire, because I'm sorry, I am one of those people that does not believe wands represent fire, because explain to me how. They whoosh. Swords are created in fire. Fire. I digress. But
as a Libra, I support this statement. Because
as I mentioned, wands whoosh, whoosh as you bring them down, whoosh as you flick, whoosh, swish, flick, wind. Swords, fire, coal, in the fire. Anyways, this is about being comfortable being alone. Not in the sense of like single, but being alone in your views, being alone in your convictions. And I'm speaking to the people that, as we enter the age of Aquarius, my friends, it is okay to realize that maybe, just maybe, the faith that you're following is not necessarily for you. And that maybe, just maybe, it's never been for you, but that's what you were raised with or only know, and now you're really fucking scared because you've built your whole life around this identity that you are now choosing to walk away from, and that is really fucking scary. This could also be speaking to people that are just making so many radical life changes that they are walking away completely and utterly from, again, what you thought was your truth. And that's a very scary place to be, regardless of whether it's faith-based, career-based, friendship-based, marriage-based, relationship-based, on all levels. It is very scary. But I'm getting this is more spiritually based, and it is even more terrifying to have that spiritually, because literally your foundation is crumbling all around you. And if you've ever been there, you know exactly how it feels, and it is fucking terrifying. That fear is supposed to motivate you, not make you shrink or turn bitter. It is supposed to spurn you. I want to go back to you having the Hierophant upside down. By you ignoring this and not allowing it to teach you what it's supposed to teach you or fuel your need to know more, that's on you, my friend. And I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that. I recommend that you take this energy and use it to go where you're supposed to go, because you do have a home. You have a spiritual home. You're just not there yet. Thank you.
I love what you said that about the Hierophant too, because it made me think of, and when you do a reading with the Hierophant, a lot of times people will use the Hierophant as like a clarification card. That
yes, they
if
will.
It comes through upright, then it's a yes, but if it comes through in reverse, it's a no. And so that really makes me also kind of tie into what you just said, where I feel like a lot of people need to get more comfortable saying no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's okay to say no. Practice saying no to those things that you know are not where you're wanting to invest your energy anymore. It's okay to say no. And are you going to buck the system when you do that? And when I'm saying buck the system, I don't just mean the system as in the man, which
right.
of course there's that too.
right,
but
right.
I also mean bucking the system of, you know, what your family thinks you should do, or how your friends feel about it, or even how your local community thinks you should be moving through the world and the kind of choices you need to be making. You could live in an area that's like totally homogenized and gentrified, and what you want to do really steps out of the borders of, you know, what's the norm there. And thank God for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think there needs to be more practice in saying no, because I know myself as a recovered yes woman, because I used to say yes to everything because I didn't want to rock the boat. And it took me a long time to get to the place where I could say no. You will get backlash. And good, just anticipate it. If you're prepared for it, forewarned is forearmed, you know? If you're prepared for it, then it won't rock you as much if you get yourself steady for backlash, right? But I will tell you that despite every amount of backlash, every amount of pushback you get, it feels so much better to just stand up for what you know is true for you. And there's this like beautiful magic with the word no. The more you say it, the easier it gets.
That's right.
Easier it gets. All right. All right. Let's look at what's crossing the collective in regard to this. What's working for or against us? What is crossing the collective in regard to this matter? What's working for or against us? The cards are not playing tonight at all. We got the devil. Yeah, it's look. But what is the devil really? Like people, well, first of all, you know, we did bring in the kind of like theological, you know, standpoint. Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of that, you know. They're afraid of the way they've been programmed. They've been told in some cases by their beliefs, their spiritual beliefs, that where they feel called to go, or what just feels in alignment with their heart or soul, is evil, is wrong. They know that if they go in this direction, they will be an outcast. Something that's been coming up in collective readings a lot lately, I've noticed, that I've been doing, is there's a lot of people that are really challenging, like, views on sexuality. There's a lot of people that are wanting to come out of the closet, you know, and they're afraid of being rejected, being exiled, being outcasted by their loved ones because of that. So I see this as a bit of that, you know, just sort of like, you notice these two figures are chained to each other. So there's oppression here. And really, that's what the devil is about. It's about being chained to something. It's being oppressed by a power, an outside power that you're allowing to have authority over you. You can call it the devil, but it could very well easily be your boss. It could be a lover. It could be your mother. It could be anything that, it could be the government. Okay. It can be anything that is exerting outside power over you, and you're handing over that power by being in a codependent dynamic with it. And we're in a codependent dynamic when we base our actions on what's going to make other people happy, as opposed to what we really know is true for us and what we need to do. So the devil always presents a choice. You know, this is that shadow energy. It's that Scorpio South Node energy. It's like only you can set yourself free, but it's all about choosing your allegiance. What are you going to be loyal to? Are you going to be loyal to your truth? Or are you going to be loyal to other people's ideas of what's true for you? That's what it comes down to.
So we have King of Swords. And in my opinion, the King of Swords and the devil really do go hand in hand. Because this guy is an asshole. He's tyrannical. He gives the emperor a run for his money, in my opinion, because at the very least, an emperor thinks of the good of his people and his empire, whereas the king will only think of his immediate kingdom, and himself. Sorry, not sorry, but I equate the King of Swords to Virgos. Sorry if you're a Virgo, you're probably an asshole. Just saying. I don't like to generalize zodiacs like that, but every Virgo I've ever known has personified this card right here. I will fight you. And then we have Temperance.
Oh, Lizzie.
And then we have Temperance, which does not jive with the King of Swords, because the King of Swords is immediate action. It is doing before you have even had a moment to decide if this is really the best course of action. And that is what I look at this, and thankfully the Temperance has it. See that yin and yang here? There's a yin and yang on this. Hopefully you can see it. But that's the balance, man. That's knowing that you can't just expect to have it be the ending. Okay, the only analogy that's coming to my brain right now. There has to be a first date. There has to be a second. There has to be a third, fourth, before you can. There has to be dating before you can just jump right into a relationship. I know most people don't want to get there. They just want to get to that point of like, okay, the awkward getting to know you phase is over. We're now in a relationship. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. There is the awkwardness. There is the uncomfortability. There is the shit. Am I even going to gel with this person? Like, and I think that's coming through about your life and lifestyle. Again, I keep coming back to the whole, like, this does not fit into the person that I am now. And so it is no longer sustainable. And that duality that's coming forth. And also, one of you motherfuckers is living two different lives. And I gotta tell you, if you're doing that, shit's about to get revealed, bro. So you better fucking start confessing. I don't know who needs to hear that. But that is a message that is coming through very strong. So somebody, whether you're watching it now or watching it in the future, if you are going behind people's back and living an alternate double lifestyle, you better be really careful, because shit is about to get revealed and masks are about to get pulled off and you are about to be exposed, which is exactly what you were talking about earlier today. So just, you have been warned.
It's true. It's very true. It is a time of exposure. And it's interesting with that devil too. It's like, I thought it was interesting that you had the Queen of Swords come out and then you had the King of Swords come out, their counterparts. So it's interesting the way those two led together. And it also makes me think of the necessity to cut off or use that sword, have the discernment to use that sword to cut off what you know is toxic, you know? This is all power dynamics, right? It's the devil is all about power dynamics. It's the need to have power over another. Now, if you're keeping stuff secret, if you're hiding stuff and you know you're moving in that Seven of Swords energy, I'll be surprised if Seven of Swords doesn't come out on this reading, because I got it like it's so forward in my consciousness. If you're operating like that, people who move like that, they do so because it puts them in a position of power. Because the other people involved in their situation do not have the knowledge of what's happening. And so that automatically puts them in a disempowered position. So that's something I think that's an interesting reflection if you're moving in that way, or if you're struggling with issues with this, you know, whether it's like you're hiding that you have an addiction or a bad habit, or you're operating out of some kind of covert behavior, not only does your secret have power over you, because it also affects how you move, but it's an attempt to have power over others by controlling the narrative. And so that's an interesting piece. And then just combining that all with the Hierophant energy that came in, I also see that as like truth being withheld from the powers that be as well on a global level in order to control the narrative, keep people in that place of confusion, not knowing, and therefore, you know, have them at a disadvantage. So it's interesting, like the broad spectrum of, you know, kind of information coming through. That's why I love doing the reads with two people, you know, ping-ponging off of each other. It's interesting what comes through. And apparently with Miss Lizzie, I mean, Virgos are getting a call out here.
yeah. Sorry, it's you know, I will apologize to Virgos. I apologize, but it's on site. Like, no. If you try to be my friend and are a Virgo, no. Want to date me and are a Virgo, no. No. I'd rather deal with Capricorns. I'd rather deal with Capricorns.
She'd rather deal with the devil she knows.
That's right. That's right. Than deal with a fucking Virgo ever again. And I know that this meme, whatever, has made its rounds. But yes, if you look it up statistically, a good majority of serial killers, Virgos. Virgos. No thanks. No thanks. No. Respectfully.
Well, we can always count on you for the truth, Miss Lizzie.
That's right.
There ain't nothing to expose with Miss Lizzie, all right?
Nope. I try not to, because each zodiac has their own, you know, and I'm sure eventually, maybe one day I'll meet a Virgo that will, you know, turn around for me and be like, okay, y'all ain't too bad. But for right now, no, you respectfully get away from me.
All right. What is crowning? What is the thing that's kind of hanging over the collective right now? It's actually wanting to be kind of like, you know, being brought more into the forefront of the consciousness. What's crowning the collective? Oh my. Ooh, okay. I got quite a few came out there. They all came out in reverse too. Yeah. Okay, so we got the Hermit in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse.
That's too bad.
It's interesting because you brought up Virgo, and the Hermit represents Virgo.
Yeah.
King of Cups in reverse. Six of Swords in reverse. So let's see here. I think that, you know, something went south in a relationship. A lot of people are thinking about where a relationship didn't make the mark. I feel like a lot of this largely revolves around the masculine aspect. Ways that the masculine maybe withheld emotionally, or was otherwise emotionally manipulative, maybe promised a certain outcome, promised these sort of pie in the sky, like fantasy, spun the glamour, like it's me and you till the end of the world, babe, I'll stop the world and melt with you kind of energy, you know, but a bit of it, a manipulation. I think that in a lot of cases, this pushed a lot of people into hermit mode. You know, a lot of people had a hard time dealing with this blow. Maybe there was a lot of deep healing they had to do in regard to that. But we did mention this energy that's coming into play with Uranus, which does bring about rebellion. And what I actually see here, because we see the Six of Swords, okay? The Six of Swords is like moving away from the trouble, right? But when it's in the reverse, it's like, nope, I'm making a U-turn. And when we got the Hermit in reverse, this is not acting out of your highest spiritual nature. So I feel like a lot of people in the collective, they got big time grudge energy in play, and they're wanting to get even. They're not wanting to turn it over to spirit to, balance things out. They're not wanting to wait on karma. They're wanting to balance those scales themselves. And they're thinking of like turning this boat around, going back to these situations and getting even. Now, they may even think of getting even by making some fantastical promises of their own, being emotionally manipulative, selling a fantasy, just so they can get that person to finally go, yes, and then they can turn them down. It's like I'm picking up like a real petty vibe, to be honest with you. That's what I kind of got here. All right.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
That's what I got.
That makes sense because I got the Emperor reversed. And yeah. Emperor reversed to me is always like, yeah, Emperor. And again, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the King of Swords and how there is a huge difference between an emperor and a king. An emperor has an empire, and an empire is fucking Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan. It is the fucking British monarch, unfortunately. At one point in time, Britain was an empire, completely owned everything. So there's a big difference between those two. And I have always thought, this is personal opinion, that emperors are more regal because they've worked harder at being more cunning to get what they want. They've surrounded themselves with the right people because in order to have an empire is vast. A kingdom is very localized. A king can control a kingdom. An emperor to control his empire, which is vast and expansive, requires a network of people that you trust. So if you don't have the right type, again, this we're going back into community. And if you don't have the right type of people and you're not surrounding yourself with the right type of people for where you want to be in your life, then no, you're not gonna have an empire. You'll be like the King of Swords and all full of, hot air. And how much longer is it before somebody challenges you to your kingdom and then you lose it all? Whereas an emperor, I mean, shit, they had to kill Julius Caesar in order to get him to go away.
Right.
Like that was the only way that he could be removed, is death. So again, think about it. Think about your long-term plans. Don't be petty. I know that the people that are going to be petty are like, I'm going to be even harder. I'm going to be petty even harder. Sure, go ahead. Let us know how that works out for you, bro.
I mean, what people really need to consider right now is that in July, with that shift happening, and we got basically it's going to be the Empress and the Emperor taking over the South Node and North Node positions in their destiny. So you got to be mindful. If we've been slugging through, Scorpio and all that shadowy stuff, all that 8th house stuff, death and transformation and, the heavy stuff. Well, guess what happens when it moves into Libra? It's the balancing of the scales. It's the weighing the, heart between the feather, which is lighter. So yeah, you got to be aware of these opening 6 months of 2023, like how you move, it's going to have a big effect on what your lot's going to be as things pan out this year. So you don't want to be operating in that imbalance of power, but it's like very clear to see that that's a lot of what's going on in the collective right now with the way these cards are coming up. And I just want to show, like, my deck is upright, man. And these cards keep flying out in reverse. So it's kind of like, yeah, something to be mindful of.
I've been shuffling. And look what's on the bottom. Temperance again. Some of y'all need to just be patient.
Yeah.
Like,
timing,
it's a process.
too. Divine timing, patience. Right. It all counts. Let's look at the basis of the matter. What are we rising up out of, man? What's the collective rising up out of? What's the basis of the matter? Okay. So on the floor, so something we're not looking at. Oh my God, it both came up in reverse. Oh, these court cards. Okay, we got fire on the board, acting out of pocket, Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in reverse, to the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so that's water sign collective, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Water, fire, interesting. That's the same thing we're looking at when we're looking at temperance. It's the balance of the water and the fire. That's, you know, that active alchemy. The Queen of Wands, though, in reverse is not a very positive energy. The Queen of Wands in reverse is, you know, very unscrupulous. The Queen of Wands in reverse uses the power of her sexuality in a negative way, in a harmful way, in a manipulative way. She's also the one who's kind of gets labeled like the home wrecker. Okay. I see this as being very impulsive with the emotions and the desire to move forward without any consideration for the long-term ramifications out of that, how it's going to affect anybody else. To me, this is very like selfish, manipulative energy that's only invested in what it wants without considering how it's going to affect anybody else in the situation. I do feel this is something that's been coming up in the collective. It is a basis. It is part of the shadow work that's being transformed at this time. It's come up in read after collective read, that there's a lot of third-party interference going on in connections right now. And with this particular lunar cycle, a lot of this is coming front and center. A lot of intimate relationships are going to be going through intense challenges. And these challenges and this fallout in romantic relationships, in intimacy, has a lot to do with betrayal. And it has to do with third-party interference. It has to do with either the interference of an outsider in already committed relationships, or it has to do with the interference of, I can also see this as kind of casting a glamour, okay, with the Queen of Wands in reverse, where you're like making promises, making things to appear to be other than what they are, where you're kind of just telling somebody what you think they want to hear because you're manipulating them to get what you want out of it. It's a very kind of like selfish energy. And I see that there's been like a moving forward in this energy in the past. And so this is sort of like the basis. There's a lot of cleanup work around this. And there's cleanup work around it, whether you're the person who acted out in this way or whether you're somebody who dealt with the fallout of it, you know, because you happen to be in a connection where you were dealing with somebody like this. Or also with that third party interference, we have to remember it's not always just like another person. It can also be like, you know, having some kind of vice, having some kind of addiction. It can be sex addiction, you know, it can be some other kind of addiction, you know, partying too hard, something that, you know, a hunger for power, which can be related a lot to, you know, the pursuit of money, you know, at the cost of the emotions. And in some way, there's been some kind of unhealthy dynamic that's entered into the realm of intimacy and relationships that's based largely on selfishness and manipulation. And I feel like this is the energy we're being asked to transform and rise out of, to look at these things. And in some cases, deal with it, call it out, where we've been put in situations where we're trying to navigate, a situation like that. So I could understand how the crowning could be like, oh no, let me show you. I can get that, because if you've been manipulated in that way, there can be a lot of anger that comes forward, and justifiably so. So it's kind of hard to temper that energy if you've been done real dirty, right?
And it's so funny because you pulled the Queen of Wands in reverse, and hi, here's the King. So, ladies, it is not just us that are doing these really unhealthy things. We also have the Page of Swords. Come again. Here he is.
I knew it.
Second time around. But then we also have the Sun. Hello, Leo. How's it going? Illuminating everything. Of course you would show up when it is your moon. But one of the things I like about my Leo card, and hopefully you can see it, it's a marionette. And these are puppets that this sun god is controlling. So, going back into those bad habits, those addictions, are you allowing this situation to control you? And I'm not talking to the people that, are, and I hate to use the word victim of circumstance, but I'm not talking to the people right now that are struggling because of the weird recession and weird financial situation that we're in. I'm talking to the people that have absolutely no reason to be struggling right now, because weirdly you're on that upswing, because I'm right there with you. Like, and the world's good for business, bro, and we're making money. Others are struggling and we're not. So I need you to not, one, feel bad, because this is just one, everything has its time. Did you ever think that maybe you put in the work? Like, did you ever think that maybe you deserve these things? Like, yes, I know the world is a really weird fucking place, and eggs are $10. It's $10 for eggs right now, and it's a very weird place to be in. Don't feel bad because you can afford to buy eggs, is what I'm saying. Don't feel bad that you can afford to have these luxuries that, for whatever reason, you've convinced yourself you don't deserve. And so now you're gonna, stick it to the man, kind of like how she was saying, I'm gonna stick it to the man and show the universe that I don't really deserve these things. So you're just gonna fumble the bag. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's okay. Like when the real revolution is upon us and we start to eat the rich, just joking, ha ha ha. We'll know you. We'll know. It's nothing to worry about, because you didn't sacrifice your beliefs. We have no choice but to participate in the world that we are in right now. And so don't feel bad as it's on its way out that you are on the upswing and that you're being comfortable. Don't. It's okay. It's okay. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing, that came through with the lunar cycle is that there are people that are going to be very successful. But why are they very successful? Because they're working their asses off to bring things into being. So there will be people that are going to start having their come up. Yes, will there be envious around that? Envious people around that? Absolutely. Again, that's something that's been in the collective, that kind of covetous sort of energy. that evil eye kind of energy. But the reality is they're not seeing the foundation of what into that. You know, it's not just something wasn't just handed, you know, to the successful person. The successful person has to like really, you know, lay down the bricks of the foundation to make something rise up from that. So that's what you're going to see, you know, when people are starting to have their rise, and there are going to be people who are going to start to have their come up, but they work their ass off for it. And there's no reason why they should feel bad about it. And sort of like the proposition that's being put forward by the universe right now is like, you can have it too. You can. You may tell yourself you can't because of your programming, because of your consciousness, because of the things you told yourself, the ways you feel insecure, the lack of faith you have in yourself or your ideas or what you have to share, what you have to bring forward. If you have faith in what you have to bring forward, you invest in it, you know? And that investment takes a lot of hard work. That's what it takes. Nobody gets successful overnight. So yeah, I agree with that statement. You know, enjoy what you got, especially when you work hard for it, you know, and you shouldn't feel bad because you've been able to get yourself to a secure place in life, you know. Very true, very true. Let's look. I gotta let Mr. Ted in. There he comes. Slowly but surely. Let's look at present and passing. What's kind of on its way out, moving out of importance? What are we kind of done with that's passing out of our situation for the collective? Yep, right in line, right. Yeah, rest time is over with the Four of Swords, to the Hanged Man, to the Judgment. That judgment angel is actually blowing its horn saying, all right, wake up call, time to rise and shine. You don't get to just kind of like take your hands off it anymore. I think that this is kind of I think this is sort of par for the course right now too, just because of how long we were held in gridlock, how long we were in lockdown, how long people were stuck at home, these kind of things. It's like that time is done. Like we can't stay in this state of inertia anymore. I also feel like a lot of people have kind of been at the crossroads, you know. They've been trying to make up their mind. They've been trying to decide which direction to head in, what choice they should make. This is a wake-up call, you know. This is a wake-up call. I think that a lot of people are now moving out of that place of rest and letting go and trying to make up their minds, and they're actually getting the call and they know what they need to do to move forward. So I kind of feel like what the main objective is right now is like, okay, you're getting the call. The call is coming in. Are you going to pick it up? Are you going to take it?
Absolutely. Because it's funny that you mentioned direction, because the Four of Pentacles, but mine's reversed. In mine, he's holding a compass. Like that's what he's holding. And then we have the Seven of Cups reversed, but the Ace of Swords. And to me, this says, again, cut the bullshit, man. Stop being indecisive. You know the direction you want to go. What you are afraid is, like going back earlier, being alone on your path, in your conviction. And let me tell you something. When you really start doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're not going to be alone. Other people, you will meet other people on the path that you are going on. But you have to open yourself up to that possibility, because another thing about the Four of Pentacles, homeboy's guarded as hell. You know, he's created this fortress, rightfully so. However, there is a moment that you have to put your guard down, much like there is a moment that you have to make a decision. The Seven of Cups is about stewing and having so many different decisions, like having a variety. Like, okay, time has passed. Time to make a decision. Whittle it down. You know, you will have such an abundance. And that's it goes right back into the whole like, you can't bypass the process. You can't just be like, oh, nope, I know how to do witchcraft now, or oh, nope, I'm initiated on this path now. No, the hell you're not. You're not. There are dues that you have to pay. There are lessons that have to be learned. But in order to do that, you have to put your guard down. And there is a level of honesty with yourself that you need to start having more. So, yeah, do that.
I actually think I love that, you brought that piece in, because I actually think that having all these options, keeping all these options on hold, I also feel like that's a way for people to exercise control in situations. It's a way for them to feel like they have control.
Yes.
I also feel like it's a way that people don't realize how much they keep themselves stuck.
Yep.
And very much with the Saturnian energy that's in play, with that Mars energy, it's not just about taking the initiative, but it's about taking the initiative like with a focus. Like all that severing your energy, dissipating it by having it go in so many directions is not going to work for this lunar cycle to get you where you want to go. And maybe if you do have multiple goals, multiple targets you want to hit, it would be best at this time to use the energy in such a way where just for this lunar cycle, just experiment with it. Hone it down to one thing. What is going to be the one thing you're going to focus on with this lunar cycle? Maybe use that as the basis of, how you make your collage, or your card, whatever you're going to do, whatever mediums you work with. What is the one thing? Where are you going to really channel your energy and focus? Because it's by that single pointed focus, and then just being like, like a dog with a bone with it, that you're going to see the success, just really going deep into one pursuit, rather than kind of like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, here or there. Kind of like how you were talking at the beginning, where you said like you kind of like your energy was all over the place. That's kind of the tendency with the energy in play this lunar cycle. So the more that you can get the distractions and the superfluous kind of like out of the way and channel your energy in one direction, that's where you're really going to see the best results. But it's definitely decision time. It's like, make a choice, choose a path. And that's the thing with choosing a path, right? It's like you can change your mind down the road too, but at least, you got to pick which direction you're heading now. If you get rerouted, you get rerouted. But, it's time to move out of the crossroads and make a decision,
Yeah. You can't stay where you are forever. And something does need to change. And hi, it's you.
All right, let's look at the near future. What's coming in? What's the near future for the collective? What's coming in this lunar cycle for the collective? What's the new energy coming in? Oh, that's just okay. I'll take that. That's the side. I flipped up in the middle. Let's see if we get anything else here. All right. We got some like crossing energy coming in the near future on my end here. And what's crossing is the Four of Cups. All right. We also got another crossing energy in along with that, which is the Page of Swords showed up again. Okay.
Hello, that's the third time.
And then we got the Three of Wands in reverse. Oh my God. You guys got to get it together, collective. We all got to get it together. Got to move forward. This is the thing, is it's like, look, get it. Okay. You wanted things to turn out a certain way. It didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And Spirit's here offering you a new opportunity, but you don't want to look at it because you're so stubborn about what didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, that you are holding yourself back. And some of you, you know, are being so stubborn that you're actually missing this opportunity that wants to come in for you. You got an opportunity that's trying to come in for you right now. It's something that's earmarked for you, but you're refusing to budge because you're trying to man the post and you're trying to hold on to something that you want it to be anything other than what it actually is. And what you need right now is you need a bit of this Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords, when it comes in upright, can be a positive energy. All right. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. When it's in reverse, it's not so hot. Okay. But the Page of Swords, first of all, bringing in a little Sun Tzu, energy here, a little art of war. All right. Move in silence, strike like a lightning bolt. All right. That's how you need to move right now. Do not let people know your plans, because I can guarantee you right now, there's going to be a lot of people that do not agree to them. All right. Now, do let people know who are going to be directly impacted and affected by your plans. Okay. Because that's what healthy intimacy looks like. All right. But otherwise, if it ain't their business, it ain't their business. So don't go splashing all your moves, all your goals, all your visions, all your plans all over social media. Because I can tell you right now, you do have people that are keeping an eye on you. There are people that are waiting to see what you are going to do. There is thwarting energy in the collective. And there are some people who would love nothing more than to sabotage you on your way to success. So it's important that, what you're doing, let it be your business. When you get there, when you arrive, if you want to share it then bring it out into the open. In the meantime, move in silence, okay? But this is also about you being bold, all right? It's tapping into the positive side of that Uranus energy where be bold, be daring, break the mold. Yeah, maybe you want to do something that other people aren't going to like because it's going to, it's going to throw things out of whack for them in terms of what they're used to getting from you. But I think you do need to go your own way. You do need to walk this way and walk the way that you're being guided to go, and do what really inspires you. I feel like what's kind of holding people up though is that, first of all, they're holding on to the way they think things should have gone instead of recognizing the opportunity that's on offer and trusting mostly in themselves to be bold and daring enough to take the leap, to strike out in a new direction. And I'm telling you, the minute you let go of those floaties, and you just allow yourself to swim freely in this bigger pond, you're going to see your ships coming in and you're going to be so glad that you took the risk. Okay. But when these opportunities come in, don't stay looking back at what could have been. Think about what could be and go for it, but keep quiet about it. Don't announce your moves, man.
See, and this is hilarious because we have justice reversed, but then we have the Fool upright. And what do we talk about? We're on the Fool's journey. Yes. Does justice make itself known at the start of the Fool's journey? No. Going back to the hero's journey, what has to happen in order for the hero to start his journey? His life has to be altered. In some cases, torn asunder, and everything has to be taken away. To understand, I'm going to talk to my Star Wars people. Luke Skywalker. He was just a normal kid that just wanted to go to flight school until some androids. His uncle bought some androids, and then all of a sudden, he's in the desert with this old dude who says he's a space wizard, and then his aunt and his uncle, who have raised him since birth, end up in as barbecue, causing him to go on this epic fucking journey to find out that he wasn't just some kid that was trying to get in high school. He was part of a greater fucking space family. He was part of the Skywalker family and also part of the fucking Jedis. He wasn't just some kid. The whole fate of the universe hinged on him. But in order for him to find that out, I'm so sorry, Uncle Owen and Aunt Brew, but you had to be burned to a fucking crisp. And it sucks. And his hand got cut off too. You know, let's not forget everything that happens to the hero on the hero's journey. There's going to be some bumps. You may lose your mentor. You may still lose everything yet. But at the end, what did he gain? I'm not talking about the sequels, even though I love the sequels. Don't go there with me. I love the sequels. I have my problems. But again, every hero, take it to any story that has ever been told. You know, even a Disney princess story, in order for a Disney princess to be the princess that she was, she had to have everything taken away from her. So it's not just, you know, not just the dudes here, you know. So starting a fool's journey, and it's funny that you were talking about ships because my fool is on a ship. I love this. I love this definition of the fool because it's not the classic of him almost falling off of a cliff. First of all, he's going in the complete wrong direction because down here are fish. The salmon are going upstream. He's going downstream. And he is on a raging river. But you know what? He's got his glasses on. He's got his dog at the helm of the ship, man. He's not bothered. They'll get there. It'll be a little rocky, but they'll get there. So I need you to have that attitude as well.
So important. Yeah, you're always tested on the path, especially when you're heading toward your destiny. There's always challenges on the quest of destiny, right? Hello, Chaylee. Welcome. Thank you so much for dropping in. Doing good, doing good. So glad you came to drop in with us and share space with us. All right, let's look at us in the environment of the future. Where is the collective going to be in the environment of the future? How is that near future evolving? What does that look like? Oh, man. Oh, collective. This is not going to be the easiest lunar cycle, I have to say.
It's really not. No, it's not.
It's going to be a really challenging lunar cycle.
Yeah.
We got the 9 of Cups in reverse with a crossing influence. Oh! I knew it would show up. I knew it would. Look at the crossing influence is the 7 of Swords.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Look. Yeah. The way something starts is the way it fucking ends. Okay? This is what this is saying. It's like this is what happens. You think that you're getting something desirable. And so you've moved covertly, right? You've moved in this way where you're keeping secrets, you're operating out of pocket, or you got somebody dealing with you in this way where there's a lot of lies, there's deception, there's trickery, there's interference energy, okay? And it's all because somebody's greedy. I mean, that's what we're looking at. When we're looking at the 9 of Cups in reverse, this is gluttony, this is greed, this is envy, this is coveting what somebody else has got because you think you should have it. It's related to insecurity. Largely, it's from not feeling secure within oneself. It's not feeling fulfilled in oneself. And it's looking at what somebody else has. And you feel so jealous of that you're like, well, I'm just going to take it, you know, and going and interfering and doing what you want to do to get what you want. I mean, when we look at the 7 of Swords, it always involves taking something, you know, in an underhanded way. It's trying to get away with something. Big card of cheats and liars, okay? Front and center. We already know with the astrology that's coming up. This stuff is going to be exposed. But what I really got with this energy here is this, like, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You think you're getting some prize. You know, if you get something in this matter, you know, if this is how you're moving, you're not going to like what you get in the end. And you might actually realize, oh, yeah, you know, I thought this was going to be my freedom. This was going to be the thing that set my heart free. And then you find yourself inside a gilded cage. It's not all it cracked up to be, you know. I also feel like this is also those who haven't been moving like this. This is realizing that somebody around you, somebody that you trusted, has been moving like this. And it's going to hurt. I mean, I'm not going to, you know, let's not sugarcoat it. You know, there's been stuff that's been going on the down low. And when this comes out, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like, you know, like life's against you. You know, it has that vibe of like everything I believed in, everything I wished for, everything I was told, it's all been a lie. And that's a lot to kind of take in. That's a lot to absorb, you know, and integrate. So I see there's a lot of truth coming out, and this truth is going to be hard to swallow. And it's going to be hard to swallow on both ends. Karmically, it's going to be difficult for the people who've been moving like this, who've been moving unethically. They're going to be held accountable for those actions, and it ain't going to be so pretty. They're not going to necessarily be so happy that they got their way, or that they were able to be successful in disrupting something for somebody else. But I also see it's a matter of, you know, also those being affected by this. I almost said infected. Okay. So, I mean,
well,
I got to bring it in. If there's been cheating going on, you know, this may be something that comes up as well, you know, something that you're worried about, you know, just your health and your well-being. And this is one way that moving like that is very selfish, right? I also see this in relation to the ways that we interrupt our wish fulfillment, okay, by sabotaging ourselves. By sabotaging ourselves and investing in things that we know on an intuitive level, like, no, this isn't for me, but yet we just want it to be what we want it to be so badly that we're not willing to look at it a different way. And because of that, we end up sabotaging ourselves from receiving what could really make us happy, because we see here, there is something with this Three of Wands that wants to come in for us. Spirit is here saying, hey, I got something else for you. I know you're really bummed about this, but please, like, drop this. Stop looking at this. I got a new opportunity for you, and you're not looking at it. Please let this go, because it could be your wish fulfillment. But because you're so stuck on how you were done dirty, and this desire to somehow like make things even, or get your jabs in, or whatever it may be, you're actually holding yourself back from the very thing that will be your wish fulfillment. So try to be more open-minded, you know. I know it's not easy when you've been hurt, but there's a need to look at things as they really are, and then accept that and move forward accordingly, because once you're true to yourself in that way, the truth is what sets you free, right?
And we have some folks that have already been here. Hi, Queen of Wands reversed again.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Hermit reversed again.
Oh my gosh.
And hello, King of Swords, or Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords also reversed. Ooh, sorry. So I need you to shut your fucking mouth. Okay? Just because you found out, you know, doesn't mean you need to tell the person, I know you were fucking playing me. I know that you were manipulating me. I know that all of this was just basically, you don't need to tell the person, I know you were an energy vampire. I know that you played me. No, none of that needs to get said. Because you know what? And this is not in a way to blame you, but you will allow this person the ability to attempt to gaslight you.
Mm.
And we're done with that. We're done. The veil has been lifted. You get it. You will allow this person to charm their way back into your life because you want it. You don't want to think that this person is a collector, because that's something that's coming through right now, and somebody needs to hear this. There are times where people collect people. They collect energies, they collect stories, they collect personalities, they immerse themselves in people with the intention of adding that person to their personality. And I'm not saying that this person is narcissistic or maybe even, it's not nefarious. It's just that's how this person is operating. And it's not up to you to say, well, I fucking gotcha. I know what you're doing. I know your game. No, because they don't even see it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just be careful. And again, this goes back into moving in silence. You don't have to. Just because you can doesn't mean you have to.
It's true. Sometimes it's in your best interest to just cut your losses, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Sometimes it's in your best interest to cut your losses, for sure. For sure. All right. Let's see. What is, oh man. Okay. And I just looked at the bottom of the deck energy as we're about to look at what are the new turn of events, new developments that are going to be coming in as a result of this. And look what's on offer. We got the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which is about celebration. It's about homecoming. It's about getting your flowers. It's about connecting with somebody who actually recognizes what you have to offer. They have done their own work on themselves. They can meet you in that place. Both of these people got their flowers. They're building together. They got something to really celebrate, it's a big homecoming, but you're not going to get that if you're continuing to sort of flog a dead horse, right? If you continue to try to get even, make a point, direct your energy toward the past. It's one of the ways that the past kind of holds you hostage, and you hold yourself back. It's like, it doesn't matter how much you look back at this thing or the way things went down or what you say. It's like you were saying, you can't change who somebody is. You can't change their choices. All you can do is respond in a way that's in alignment with your truth and what you need to do to best support yourself, right?
Yep.
Right. Let's look at new turn of events for the collective. What's the new energy that is going to come in if we can, move forward, move in silence, do the work, work real hard, set our sights on our vision, stop getting distracted by this nonsense. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at this. 3 of Cups to the 8 of Pentacles. Okay.
Nice.
This is awesome energy. So this is the key. All right. This is the key right here. It is about doing the work. Like I was saying, work with this energy of this lunar cycle, narrow it down, give yourself a focus. And let me tell you something. I know it's been this way for me in my life. When I've gone through periods in my life where I was really hurting or I was trying to overcome something that was really holding me down, nothing helped me more than being productive, than putting my energy into something that I could grow and build for myself. And a lot of times, like just putting my focus on work, being productive in that way, it was a really wonderful way not to bypass my experience, because still at the end of the day, you're going to have your quiet moments, but at least you feel like the energy isn't stagnating. You're not staying stuck in this disappointing gloom and doom energy that doesn't allow anything new to sort of come in. When you take that frustration instead and you pour it into something that means something to you, and I encourage you to align with some kind of work that's meaningful for you, some type of goal that's meaningful for you. This can be anything to, getting your health in order, picking up exercise again. Exercise would be really great at this time just to move that Mars energy, like get the energy moving. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling stagnant, if you feel like I'm just stuck in this depressive cycle, I'm looking back at everything that went wrong, how dirty I've been done, and you can't like shake it, work out, move the energy, go get physical, go on a hike, go for a walk, do something you enjoy. This can also be, pouring your energy into a business you want to develop or some type of creative project. But this came through very strongly with the astrology that right now we're being asked to work. We're being asked to really use the excess energy that's going to be available to us to channel it into building something we want to build for ourselves. It's not about what you can build with another person. It's not about that. It's about what can you build for yourself? How do you want to channel your energy in a productive way? What do you want your future to look like? Okay, do the work, like map it out, and you'll be amazed how much this will help you moving forward in all areas of life. You do this, what's on the other side? The Three of Cups, more celebration, something really to celebrate. And it's also healing, it's healing to take back your power in that way from not giving your energy away by fixating on somebody who, did you wrong or what didn't turn out the way you didn't want it to. When you do that, you actually give away your power. But by taking that energy and saying, okay, this didn't work out, how can I apply this energy and focus to another area of my life? Or what do I have the ability to have some sense of control over right now? Where can I make a difference in my own life? As soon as you start applying yourself and really doing the work, getting streamlined with it, cutting off distractions and just going for it, you're going to get a whole level of self-confidence back and you will have something to really celebrate. And it'll be healing for you because you're kind of come back into your power again.
And that is supported by the World.
Love it.
And the Ace of Cups.
Beautiful.
I really like this version of the Ace of Cups because she is pouring onto and into herself. This is coming from as above, so below. And again, it's about focusing on yourself, not what happened, not who's going to join you on this journey, not who's leaving you as you're coming to this journey, but you, YOU. That's all I got.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. You do that, and then what's meant for you catches up with you. It's just like you said, you're gonna have a whole new cast of characters coming in. This is the time we're starting to be aligned with our people. We're starting to be reconnected with soulmates, our soul family, the people that are going to share this next leg of the journey with us. So, move forward to that. And is there some past influence coming back? Quite possibly. In some cases, there will be reconciliation. Three of Cups can also be like reconciliation energy, especially when we opened up with the Judgment, which often can bring connections back around for healing. There will be some of that. But the point is to keep moving forward. It's about you pouring into yourself and focusing on where you're going, what you do have mastery over in your life, and that's what brings you success. I also see Three of Cups a lot of times as a celebration of a birth. So I see this as like the birth of a new beginning in your life. Once you free yourself from manning this post where you're allowing yourself to be like the whipping boy of the past, where you're just looking at, what happened back there. It's like it's already gone. It's an illusion. It's time to give up the ghost and move forward in an empowering way. All right, let's look at hopes and fears. What are the hopes and fears of the collective? Hopes and fears of the collective. All right. Oh, I actually love that this came out. This is really beautiful. The star.
Oh, yay!
The star. Okay, so it looks like the collective is going to get it together. They're going to start focusing more on healing, more on nurturing themselves. This is very much associated with Aquarius. It is Aquarius season. I love how the main star in the card is the sun. Okay, so we got this Leo full moon that's ushering this in. And this is our sign that it's like, okay, I get it. You know, you've been through a lot. I know people have been through a really deep, intense healing process. There's been a lot to integrate, a lot to move through. There's been a lot of emotional release. There's been a need to really kind of cleanse yourself of the energy of the past. Some of you, I really feel it's been coming up a lot, so we're just going to flow with it. I do feel a lot of you would benefit from any kind of cleansing, purification rituals that have to do with that water element. This is something that can be especially beneficial leading up to that new moon in Pisces on the 20th of February. So maybe you could even do some different kinds of workings with water leading up to that new moon in Pisces and just sort of like wash the old away and welcome in the fresh new energies. You could do like simple spiritual cleansing baths, 2 cups of Epsom salt or sea salt, 2 cups of baking soda. And from there, just flow with your intuition. What plant allies do you want to bring into your bath? What kind of oils do you want to bring into your bath? Do you feel drawn to light a candle or a particular work with a particular color or some kind of music, any kind of psalm, affirmation, all of this? Make it your own. What crystals you add to the bath water, or if you're working with a shower, you can do that as well. Okay, you can make up an infusion of different herbs and you can anoint your crown. That's a beautiful way to cleanse yourself if you don't have access to a tub. I also see this as doing also release rituals connected with the water, because water teaches us how to flow. So, maybe go and spend some time near a body of water. Go spend some time near the ocean or a lake or a creek or a stream, and maybe do some kind of release work. Also, paying attention to your lymphatic system. Where your lymphatic system is blocked up, your emotions are blocked up. And sometimes the waters that need to flow for release so we can move forward and start manifesting a new future involves emotional release, crying it out. We do, in one of my other star cards, it came in my mind, it was for the Paulina Tarot, there's a little frog on the star card. And so that came to my mind. And frog medicine is all about spiritual cleansing, but in particular through tears, that tears are sacred. So maybe you've been trying to just like tough it out because you've had a long, hard road, and you feel all cried out, but you might have been just kind of keeping up this strong, sort of image to weather the storm for so long that you might need to soften a little bit. You might need to let yourself be a little bit vulnerable and allow your emotional experience to be held in the space of some kind of ritual that gives a feeling of respect around it. And I especially recommend this to anybody who has been dealing with any kind of betrayal, any kind of third party interference, anything like that that's left you in this space where you feel that kind of 3 of Swords heartache energy. Give yourself this gift of creating some kind of ritual and release work around this ending so that maybe you were disrespected, but at least you can respect yourself for how you chose to move through that situation. And the sooner you give yourself this respectful space to let go of the old energy, you'll really be able to start channeling your energy in a more productive way where you can focus on building the new way forward for yourself. And it looks like what wants to come in is celebration. What wants to come in is healing. What wants to come in is recognition, you getting your flowers, you doing the work and achieving success, right? Actualizing your dreams. But you got to get the channels unblocked. And again, lymphatic system, if you're having trouble getting a good cry on, maybe you feel like you need to cry and you can't. You just can't seem to get it to come up and out. Your lymph may be blocked. There's an intimate connection between emotional release and the lymphatic system. So exercise, go get a massage, massage yourself, you know, get a really beautiful oil, give yourself some self-care to stimulate your lymphatic system, work with some gua sha, use a loofah in the shower, you know. All of these things can help. Once you get your lymph moving, you'll find that the emotional release comes easier. You'll also be feeling better, and it gets your body used to moving, and whatever happens on the physical is also happening mentally and emotionally too, spiritually as well. So you'd be surprised how much just focusing on self-care, moving your lymph, getting some exercise in can get stagnancy out of the picture and get you moving forward in a productive way, where it'll also raise your self-esteem too. And then you'll be more apt to invest in yourself and see really positive results.
Yes. I have the Nine of Swords, and I really love this version of the Nine of Swords because she's walking out. She's leaving that all behind her, and she's walking out into a beautiful, sunny, see the light coming in. She's leaving all of this. And I know you can't see it, but in the corner, it's like her shadow. It almost created like a golem type creature. In the corner, that the three swords were always hanging over their head. Okay, you can kind of see it now. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
See? So again, this is, and the swords are also below too. So, it's kind of got some Eight of Swords energy kind of going on. So again, I don't ever like to victim blame or say this is of your own creation, because in reality, yes, that's what the Eight of Swords is you've blinded yourself to the reality of the situation. Your hands are tied, you're blindfolded and surrounded by swords. Typically within an Eight of Swords, and this is why I love this deck, in my version of the Eight of Swords, there is a very large gap in the swords, indicating that this person could take the blindfold off and their hands are tied in front of them very loosely. So in reality, if you as an individual, your hands were tied very loosely in front of you and you were blindfolded, you would take off the blindfold and undo and then walk out and then realize, oh shit, I'm not surrounded by swords. Like I have a way out. This person has seen that and has made a conscious decision to move away from it and go towards the light. Not in a darkness and light type of thing, but the light meaning your own truth. Thank you, the star. Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
So beautiful.
So, again, our fair lady, she's not going alone. She's got protection. She's got a sword at her hip. So everything that you have been learning for these past 3 years is with you. It's at your side. You have it. You're not alone. You're not alone. It's like, and we come full circle. You are not alone.
And it's really wild because I looked at the bottom of the deck and there's justice.
But it's up right now.
I mean, this is also what's happening right now is we're closing karmic cycles and karma is being balanced. And in some cases, people are going to find that they get their karmic reward, okay? And karma is just, it's what we come into this life with. So I just want to bring this piece in because I feel like there's always talk about karmics and karma, and I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding about what karma actually is. People think it's like this eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth energy. It is not. That's not what karma is. Karma is a concept out of the Vedas. So if you want to know what the concept of karma is about, you have to go back to the Vedas. And karma is about the spiritual lessons that you have that you didn't learn in the last lifetime that come forward in this lifetime, that draws certain people to you, certain soulmates, so you can learn those lessons, okay? And everybody is karmic and everybody has karma. Nobody is free of that. Nobody ascends beyond that. Nobody ascends beyond that individually. Nobody ascends until everybody ascends. That's what the wheel of karma is all about. We're all on this wheel of karma. It's going round and around and around. And it don't stop for nobody. Not until all of us collectively get free from our karma. So the way it kind of is presented, it's kind of funny. It's like, you do something wrong, karma is going to get you. No, not in this life. It means you didn't learn your lessons. And again, that's going to carry over into the next life. And now you've accrued more, which means more difficult lessons. It doesn't mean you're going to see insta karma. All right. This does show, though, with the scales being balanced and it being a very karmic time, like I was saying, and like as it come forward in this read, stuff's going to come to light that's going to be painful. And sometimes before you get a karmic reward for a job well done, you have to face some of the ugly truth too. And this can be not only what others have done that you weren't aware of, but it also can be ways that you sabotaged yourself, or that you didn't respect your own truth, or what you felt intuitively was what you needed to do in this situation. And so this is all going to be balancing out the scale. Let's look at the outcome. What is the outcome this lunar cycle for the collective? How are things going to wind up for the collective? Woo! Okay. All right. Ooh, gosh. Collective. Collective. Oh my God. I think the collective, I have to say, looks like the collective is they're choosing to hang out at the crossroads longer. That's what it looks like to me. I'll show you why. I got the Fool in reverse. I got the Chariot in reverse. I got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. This is like, nope, I'm not going to invest in it. I'm not investing in the future. I'm staying stubbornly stuck here. I'm not over what happened in the past. I'm not going to release the past. I'm going to sit around here and I'm going to play the fool, thinking that things are going to change when they're not. This will likely make me subject to being taken advantage of because I'm moving in a very naive manner. I'm not being realistic. I'm not paying attention to that dog nipping at my heels saying, hey, watch where you're going because you could fall off the cliff and there ain't going to be a soft landing. I'm going to turn my chariot back around and I'm going to head right back in the direction that got me stuck and in this place of indecision in the first place. And I'm going to work with people who are actually working against me. I don't know what to say. That's not what I was hoping to see for the
and I got Temperance. So speaking from literally going through this right now, just let it go, man. Allow yourself to be okay with the fact that vibrationally, you and these people are not an energetic match. At one point in time, you were, and I also need to say to the people, because I know you're watching. I know you people that are the perpetrators are also watching. We get both. We get both into the perpetrators. Every dog has a day, my friend. And you think you're getting away with it now. Just wait. Because as we discussed, your time will come. But again, to the collective, I really, really, really need you to move on from this. They are not going to catch up with you. They are not going to recover themselves and realize, oh gosh, maybe what I'm doing isn't the best. No, they know what they're doing isn't the best, unfortunately. Um, but again, they're a collector. I don't like to use the word user because it doesn't, but they're a collector. You were collected in a long line of people that they have been collecting from since they became aware of the fact that they could collect. So allow yourself to let go of that version of yourself and let it stay with that person, because that's not who you are anymore.
It's so frustrating too, because it's like this energy is everything you ever wanted is on the other side of fear. And I say that because look at what's on my bottom of the deck energy, the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands, victory, overcoming, success, everything you've been waiting for, doing that victory lap. Like, I overcame that. Look where I am now. I'm so glad I went through that. That's what's on offer. That's what's on offer. But it comes through this Queen of Swords energy. I see this as air sign collective, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This is about speaking the truth. That's what that sword is. It's a sword of truth. And it's also the ability to be decisive. That sword is used to be decisive. It's to cut off what doesn't serve. It's also about, maybe in some cases, this is what's holding back the need to have the truth acknowledged or to recognize the truth. Okay. And there's also this here's the thing, the Queen of Swords already knows the truth. You see, she's got her hand up and she's saying, come on, come speak your truth. It better match my truth because I already know what the truth is here. I got receipts. But here's the thing. You're going to hold this off, this victory, this success. Everything you wanted is on the other side of you letting this go. And you'll be waiting the longest time for just like the littlest crumb of truth coming through with that Knight of Pentacles. That's a slow moving energy. It's not that recognition won't come around. It will. But by the time it does, after these people, this situation has changed, after the lessons have been learned and people have grown and they've dealt with the repercussions of their actions, yeah, they'll realize it then. They'll want to make it right then. They'll want to speak a truth then. But you realize how long you're going to be waiting around for this to come in? You can't put your life on hold. There's just no way. And the top of the deck energy is the High Priestess. To thy own self be true. You already know the truth. You already know. Your intuition is telling you the truth. Don't hold yourself back waiting to hear it from somebody who is not capable of standing in their power to even tell you that truth. If they were, they wouldn't have to operate out of this Seven of Swords energy. All right? They wouldn't have to sneak around. They wouldn't have to hide. This person's already in a disempowered place. You can't speak the truth. You can't come up and out with the truth if you're not in your power. So you're waiting around for somebody to grow. And meanwhile, you're putting your growth on hold. And it's ridiculous because spirits here saying, look, we want to give you that Three of Wands. We want to give you your ships coming in. We have a gift to give you. The star is here. The worst is over. You just got to be willing to let it go, let it flow and move forward and head toward the light. Head toward the light, Carol Ann. It's like, don't stay here. Don't stay here. I want to do a cut of the deck on this because I just have to. I just have to. Yeah, we got Knight of Wands. The solution is to use that action to do the work and charge forward. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And it's paired right here with the King of Swords. To me, King of Swords is air sign collective. Also really strongly representing Aquarius, Aquarius season. It is Aquarius's season right now. And this is about you need to move out of some of the impetuousness. Instead, look at things in a very steely sort of way, purely logically. Is this working or is it not? If it's not working, you got to cut it off and instead do the work. Put in the time, put in the energy, you know, really invest in yourself, invest in your vision going forward as an independent entity and break free of what other people need or when other people are going to get their act together or when this person's going to tell me the truth or are they ever going to make, who cares? This is about you charging forward and taking action on behalf of yourself. And if you do this, you move beyond this Three of Swords stagnancy, staying in the pain of your heart. And what happens? Oh, everything gets moving with the Eight of Wands and in the best way. This is an influx, a brand new energy. 2 months from now, your life will look completely different if you stop manning this post and you start moving forward and doing the work now and let this go. So very, very interesting energy. Very interesting energy. And what came on the top of the deck after the High Priestess? Another Leo card, okay? It's going to take strength. It takes strength to leave the past behind and to step into the future and the unknown. But there's a lot of good stuff there if you make the move, collective. So looks like you got some work to do. That's how it looks like there's just work for the collective to do. They're not ready to move out of the stagnancy. They're too afraid to take the risk. And because of that, I feel like it's big missed opportunity. So for those of you who are tired of sitting at the crossroads, I encourage you, like, take advantage of this energy to do the work because you will have a lot of energy. And here's the thing, it's like you can either channel that energy productively, get your shit together, focus on your goals, start investing in yourself, stop looking at what went wrong, stop looking at the past, stop worrying about other people, get very single-minded focus, cut off what's distracting you, cut off what's sabotaging you, whether it's a person, place, thing, or a bad habit within yourself, and you will see so much progress. You will have so much success. You will get things moving forward. You'll feel so much more free. Okay. And there's the energy is available to fuel it with what's going on with Mars with this astrology. But if you don't, that energy is still going to be there. And instead, it's going to go all up here, all into your head. It's going to make you mental. It's going to put you in that Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords energy. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to have sleep disturbances. You're going to feel confused. And it's just going to be more of the same. So this is really like, I feel this energy is just very front and center. Like life's kind of like nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to save you. There is no knight in shining armor. It's not happening. Okay. It's not happening. You got to save yourself. And that's what it comes down to. With the way things are going right now, which is what tarot reveals, you know, is where things are at right now. With the way things are going right now, most of the collective is choosing to stay stuck. They're choosing not to save themselves. They're still waiting on a rescuer, and it's just not going to happen. We're being asked by that Saturnian energy to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, do the work, and do what we need to do to save ourselves. So, kind of intense.
Yeah. No, I've known this. Like I've been feeling this for a while, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I've already moved on. I've already moved on. So if somebody is like wondering, like if you're watching this and you're like, well, it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard, but what's even harder is staying in the energy that this person or a group of people, for some of you, want you to stay in. they want you to reach out to them and say, so I really think we need to talk. They're ready for that, baby. And they're ready to spin it around and just, you know, you've got a big heart. A few of you have a really big heart. And because of your experiences, you were always like, oh man, somebody is experiencing that, and you swore that you would be there. Are they experiencing it? For some people, yes, but for some people, no. You are being manipulated, and you are unfortunately in the long line of manipulated people. You are just the new person going back to a collector. You're just another mask that yes, exactly, Miss Danielle. Um, you're just another personality that they can use to their next, I don't want to say the word victim, but to the next person that they want to add to their collection.
Their supply. So, their next
yep.
supply.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it's very true. And I mean, obviously it's not just, you know, one particular sector of the collective. We've had all of the signs show up on the board. I mean, we got earth, air, fire, water, all came in. So it's a collective issue that's kind of hanging over. I do feel it also speaks globally too. Also, you know, yes, it's happening in the microcosm of our personal relationships, but I also feel like it's something that's happening globally too. A lot of people are unhappy with the way things are going in the world. They're unhappy with the dynamic. They're unhappy with authorities. They're unhappy with the way things are rolling out, and yet they're not choosing to do what needs to happen to wrench the fabric of that and bring in a new energy. They're choosing instead to stay stuck and complain about it. And that energy is just, it's not going to be rewarded in this cycle. You got to do the work. And I could really relate to what you're saying, Lizzie, because I picked up this memo a long time ago myself, and I've had to let go of a lot of things, and I've had to change a lot of things, and I've had to release a lot of things. I've had to let go of people in some cases, and you know, take that risk, and it's uncomfortable. Nobody likes doing that kind of work, man. But no. It's also allowed me to invest my energy in other ways once I said, okay, I'm not going to be distracted by this anymore. Instead, I'm going to put my energy into myself and focus it in different directions. And through that, I've been able to build new avenues of fulfillment for myself. You know, I've been able to meet new people that are more aligned with who I am and where I'm going in life and what I envision for my future. So, you know, it's never perfect, and there's always, I feel like there's layers of this kind of shedding work to be done, right? Nothing gets resolved overnight. You shed one layer, and then it's like, oh, okay, there's this to deal with too. But it's a progressive movement, and as long as you're willing to just step into that place where you're not sure what's up ahead, but you just know that, okay, this situation or this connection, this ain't it, you know. And just being real with yourself about that, looking at it honestly and saying, all right, well, where can I channel that energy productively now and do the work? Again, like doing the work, it helps. It helps to get productive. It helps to get organized. I always like to give people tools too, especially when it's like a difficult read like that. It looks like we got a lot of energy we're combating. So to those people who feel like I'm tired, I'm worn out, I don't feel like I have any motivation to take any kind of action, I don't feel like I can even handle it right now. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel like that. There's a lot of people out there that are struggling. You know, first of all, showing up tonight and dropping into this space with other people who are working to be conscious on their paths, working to be self-aware and to, you know, consciously engage with their lives and move in better directions is a really good start, you know, starting to build different kinds of community. I would also say maybe start with just your general environment at home. Okay. Like maybe look around your home. What are you holding on to in your physical environment that you don't use or you don't need anymore? Sometimes if you start to move energy in a way that's very like not emotionally charged, like getting rid of the old clothes, getting rid of, stuff you haven't used in the past year. If you start like moving things in your environment, switching things around at home, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. Some people, especially if they're in a really depressive cycle, they got to start really small. Okay, just let it be the bookcase today. Today I'm going to organize my bookcase and get rid of what I don't need. That's a good place to just start moving the energy. And you'd be surprised as you do something even as simple as that. It might inspire you. You might come across stuff you haven't seen in a long time. It'll remind you of like, oh, I really wanted to do that. And then I got distracted from that. And one thing will kind of lead to another. But I will say that in this lunar cycle leading up to February 20th with the Pisces new moon, it's a really excellent time to just in any way you can start moving the energy in your life. Whether you move your physical body, you move things around in your environment, or whether you're really ready to take a big leap and you're ready to let some stuff go and start moving boldly towards your future, which I highly recommend. Okay.
Yeah.
But honor where you're at and take steps with where you're at. And this is a cycle that will reward you. The more you take responsibility for your own fulfillment, your own needs being met, and your own happiness, you will experience so much reward every time you make that investment in yourself. That's about what I got.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. So now I'm glad with that reading that kind of like changes some of the direction too with what I want to bring in on my card. I'm still going to keep those original images, but it slants it a little bit for me. So that's kind of interesting to work with. And maybe what we can do is when we meet for the Pisces new moon, we can share the progress we've made with our cards and all that. Hi, Asma. Thank you for joining us. So lot of interesting stuff happening. A lot of need for temperance. Oh, I'm sorry, Asma. We don't do personals on these reads. This is just for the collective. If you're ever interested in a personal reading, you can reach out to me at broadcoven@gmail.com. Okay. Oh, interesting. Dave said, what an energy that just happened. Did you feel it?
I don't know. I feel like I've been feeling.
I don't know if I felt an energy.
I don't know. I know that I have been feeling what I have been feeling for a while now, but it's becoming more rooted and more concrete. A lot of what, and I'm speaking to the collective, a lot of what Shannon and I talk about, a good majority, if you asked us in our personal life, we'd be able to tell you that the cards are also speaking to us too, and giving us direction as well as you. We do this for the collective, but we are also the collective. I totally understand what, especially me, like I'm an Aries, man. I can't keep my mouth shut for crap. Like, especially if you've offended my sensibilities. No, I'm going to destroy you. But I don't want to do that anymore because that moving in silence and being able to take that step back and not feeding into behavior that takes me out of my character. My Auntie Aoife says this all the time, and it's one of my favorite sayings. Do not allow the behavior of others to take you out of your character.
Mm-hmm.
And I take that to heart so much because, one, it's a nicer way of saying, like, stay in your lane. But it also reminds us that we only give people as much control as we allow. And that's not to say don't be pissed off. Sure, be pissed off at that person. Absolutely. Be hurt. Be upset. Be upset at that faith that's let you down, you know, that church that's let you down. Like, if you are part of a group of people, and yeah, I'm speaking to you, that rogue Christian that's here, that's been here wondering, is it all really full of shit? Is it all really bullshit? Is the church really what it was? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Mm-hmm. Been there, done that, been practicing pagan for 16 years. And it was very painful. Again, it was very painful. Um, but you're not going crazy. You are in the right place. But maybe, just maybe, you don't need to be as loud and proud. Don't take a page from Aries' book and start carrying your pagan books around and whipping them out on the counter so that way you can just see people's reaction. Don't go and hang out with your Christian friends and start, you know, laying down your fucking stuff. It's not necessary. I mean, okay, maybe it might be necessary for a few of you, but you know, we are seeing people moving away from the church. Just because your church isn't talking about it doesn't mean it's not happening. Christianity is a dying religion. Sorry, not sorry. It's dying. And I saw this. I saw this on social media the other day. It can't die soon enough. Sorry, but it really can't. And you don't need to die with it. Come over to our side. We'll we'll hook you up. We'll give you a new spirit. We'll give you, you know, we got gods aplenty that you can choose from, and all they all are just as human as you and me. So they are not perfect. They do not pretend to be perfect, nor, okay, unless you're Zeus. But but no, don't don't deny the death that's happening. Just relax. You'll be just fine. You'll come out on the other side. It's like at one point in time, it's like a relationship. Like that saying goes, oh, look at you living when you didn't think you could live without that person. You can. We all feel that way. You can, and you will, and you shall. There we go. I'm done. Thank you. I just had to get that out there. Because I do. I feel like we have the rogue Christian that watches. Like, they watch us in secret, you know? Like, they don't follow our pages because, you know, that would create questions. But they're secretly watching us.
We very well may. I know that I've been on live before, and I had somebody, you know, telling me I was doing the devil's work, and you know, but the thing is I don't believe in the devil. I mean,
neither do I.
I don't believe in the devil, so it's like, no, that's all you, you know. I mean, it doesn't bother me either way. It doesn't bother me whoever wants to watch or whoever wants to come in community, because I feel like it's good for people with divergent views to have a common meeting ground where they can sit and talk. But for me, what's important with that, regardless of what somebody's spiritual belief is, their faith, their choices in life, what's important for me is that respectful space is created where there can be meeting grounds, which means, you know, respecting where people are at with their truth, even if it doesn't match up with our own. That's what encourages open dialogue and communication, is when we create spaces where it's not about shaming another's choices or how they choose to walk their path, but creating points of connection instead of looking at the places where we diverge, where there's differences. And I think if there's anything that can really shift in the collective consciousness right now, especially with what's coming in around communication, this is a central point. We have to stop looking at this sort of mentality that keeps us in a place of finger pointing. Because if we're finger pointing, that keeps us in a place of us versus them, which keeps us in this dichotomy of division. And that's exactly what the powers that be want at this time, for us to be divided. Because when we're divided, then we don't have our strength of unification, which is what it's really about, is shifting our perspective to stop looking at all the ways we're different and instead looking at what are our common points, though. Where do we share commonalities? Where can we get on the same page with each other, regardless of our choices in life, where we live, what we do, what faith we have? At the end of the day, as long as we kind of like stay in that place, we're going to keep ourselves disempowered. And it's really beneficial for us to come together. So I'm okay. I'm okay if there's people that watch that maybe even really misunderstand and have a certain view of the path I've chosen in life. That's okay with me. I hope to show them a different side. I hope to blow their mind, maybe with a little bit of that Uranus action, to show that it's not necessarily the Hollywood generated vision. And my whole concept with walking the path for me is about freedom. It's that freedom. And so yeah, I don't know, hopefully people can see a different side. And I think that what changes things is the power structures are what taints things. It's not what people choose to have faith in. It's more the overriding power structures that are corrupt, that create the division and the problems.
And if you are Christian and conflicted, hi, I was too. I left my church. It was a really difficult decision, and it would have been nice to have somebody to talk to when I was making that decision. So my DMs are always open. If you are at that crossroads and want to know what it's like on the other side of that, please feel free to reach out to me, because I walked away from a whole community. I talk to one person still. But no, I don't talk to anybody else. And that was their choice, and it was my choice, because I didn't want to be a project. I didn't want to be saved. I didn't need that. And you come up against that, and it sucks. So if you are, please feel free. I have absolutely no problem chatting with you about that and what that's like. It was a long time ago now, 16 years ago now, but I still remember it like it was yesterday, and I remember the feelings that it gave me. So yeah, my DMs are always open. Please feel free, and I'd be more than happy to share it.
I also have that background. I grew up in a Christian religion, and so my family stopped going to church when I was about 12 years old, and my parents gave us the option, me and my siblings, where we could choose what was right for us. And I chose ultimately to go my own way, much like we full circle moment, but it's definitely a long process, and there was a lot that came up for me. There was a lot of fear I had to release. I realized how much fear had kind of been programmed into me, and it was a lot to break free from that. So I definitely understand the challenge of that for those who are struggling with breaking the mold in those ways. But I think it really applies in all areas. It's not even just with, feeling different, spiritually than you grew up as and wanting to make a shift on your path. It can be anything, it can be maybe like we were talking about, those who are like feeling like, oh, I need to come out, I need to come out of the closet. I don't want to hide who I am anymore.
I can also talk to you about that too. Hi. Late in life lesbian. How you doing? Came out 2 years ago. I can talk to you about that one too.
Yeah. So, there's that. It can even be something as simple as like, you've always been in a particular career. This is how everybody identifies you, and you've become really invested in that image. And now you want to do something that a lot of people may look at you and go, oh my gosh, that's so foolish. How could you possibly want to go in that direction? Like, are you crazy? But everything inside of you is saying yes. Anytime we switch anything up, it's been kind of foundational as far as how people relate to us. It's hard. It's hard.
It is. It's real hard.
And that's what we're being asked to do.
That's right.
We're being asked to step into our truth and not to deny it anymore, and not to tolerate situations or dynamics that keep us in that place of living out of integrity with what we know to be, our path and what's right for us. So it looks like a lot of work. It looks like a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we'll get to the other side.
I do too.
There's too much good on offer. I think we'll get to the other side. We just need to get it moving, collective. And on that note, it's been almost 3 hours.
Yep, I'm starving.
Yeah, I feel that. So thank you so much to everybody that showed up.
Yes.
And Miss Lizzie, if you want to let people know where they can find you.
So I'll mention this each time. I do have a page. However, I live in the state of Nevada, where you have to be licensed in order to provide any type of paid for services. So I am not charging, nor am I putting any time or energy into my page. It is not a focus of mine right now. Just I try to get that out right out the gate. It's not a focus of mine. It's something that I have let go because it is not my time. I thought it was, but like we talked about, you got to know when to let things go. So I've let it go. I jump on here with Broad because I do enjoy that, and it does help with my community. But my practice has become completely off of social media and completely private, and not something I'm sharing it, but in a different way. So I have no problem giving readings. I will not charge, but that doesn't mean you can take advantage of my situation. So yeah, that's it. That's my spiel.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for showing up, dropping in, and joining the conversation. Your presence is so appreciated. Thank you to everybody who showed up. You all know where to find me. Y'all can find me here. I do have Facebook. I do have other social media. To be honest with you, I don't really do my stuff on there a whole lot anymore. I'm really pulling away from that, and most of my focus is here on YouTube. This is where I'm feeling really fulfilled, and I'm going to be bringing in a lot more here. And if you do want a private reading, you can reach out to me at broadcoven@gmail.com. The only way to book a reading with me. There is no other way. I will never reach out to you to solicit you to book a reading with me either. There's a lot of scammers out there. So you know, there is a Facebook page for Broad Coven. I shut down the booking through Facebook because Facebook is a hot mess. And a lot of times they won't even notify you that somebody's trying to book something. So again, the only way to book a reading with me is to email me. Just shoot me an email and say, I'd like to set up a reading. I'll take care of you. And that information is in the description box of my videos. So we'll be back. We'll be back on sometime around new moon. May not exactly be on the 20th. We'll have to see what day it lands on, but we'll be coming in for the new moon again and carrying this forward with another dive into the energy and continuing to build our vision cards. And I'll share what I came up with on that next one. And if any of you want to share what you created, please do email it to me and I'll put it together a nice little video. Maybe I can even have it as like a trailer video opening of our live. And
oh yeah,
yeah, and everybody can get a view of what everybody created. It'd be really kind of cool if we all collaborated together and pulled our energy together. So please, if you jump in and if you're going to go on this journey and make your own oracle deck and work with these visioning cards, like send me a picture of what you created. And if you want, you can even share a few words and I'll put together some kind of video so everybody can feel connected to what we're building collectively with each other. All right. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for dropping in, sticking it out for the long haul.
Yes.
2:51, 11 on the clock. We went quite a while, but it's always a good time. And I always like to drop in and have this time. It's fun. So thank you, Lizzie, for joining me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Broad. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that showed up and hung out with us. Thank you. I love your energy as always, everybody.
All right. We'll catch you on the flip side. Happy full moon. Have a good night. Get to work.
That's right.